I put the I in single.
This is the key to all of your problems. Ow.
Breaking news, I actually could use your support, but I've convinced myself that asking for help would make me a burden. And instead of giving you the choice, I'm going to make the decision for you by never asking and suffering in silence. More after this.
Your 3 months are up, and this time you're not gonna cheat me out of my fun.
Oh, it's you again, Mr. Kiltipsism.
Not Kiltipsism, Mixius Pitlick. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do... Oh, nuts.
This is a transcript of an actual radio conversation that happened between the British and the Irish off the coast of Kerry.
Please divert your course 15 degrees to the south to avoid a collision. Recommend you divert your course 15 degrees to the north to avoid a collision. Negative. You will have to divert your course 15 degrees to the south to avoid a collision.
This is the captain of the British Navy ship. I say again, divert your course.
Negative, I say again. You will have to divert your course.
This is the aircraft carrier HMS Britannia, the second largest ship in the British Atlantic Fleet. We are accompanied by 3 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and numerous support vessels. I demand that you change your course 15 degrees north. I say again, that is 15 degrees north, or countermeasures will be undertaken to ensure the safety of this ship.
We are a lighthouse. Your call.
Every friend group's got at least one furry friend. I know what you are. I know what you are.
Nah, I need to look right into the camera.
Every friend group's got at least one furry friend. I know what you are. I know what you are. Every friend group's got at least one furry friend. Who's got at least one.
At the end of the day, nothing was learned. Okay. Simpson. Okay, so it's very weird going back to this after doing all of my editing because I be busy on like click, rename, such, and I'm not used to like being like, okay, go here, go here, go here, go here. I'm a bit out of my depths, as you can clearly see. That's why I'm like, I don't think either one of these is going to work.
If you include family, no! Because I live far worse than my sister does, and my sister's younger. So statistically putting, I will not be the last person. If you mean like in general, then kind of. But because overall I will have this, like, am I a bit afraid? Yeah, not completely, not to the point that I would say I'm afraid. Will it be, like, sad? Yes. But because of 2 things, one, I highly doubt I'm going to be the last person in my social group. In my social group, my sister and my cousins exist, who live far healthier, so they are going to live far past me, and they are all probably can. Also, I have this, so I'll just maybe make new friends and just create stuff like that. So, no. Yes. That will terrify me.
It's usually for my edit, so I can make sure that I'm here again. Alright, okay. Okay. Are you... Okay, that was terrible. I hate this boss, but I love it as in this section. Okay. Okay.
Wait, can I say it? Will I say it? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that's a good one, but this has blue jokes, so I was trying to be like, oh, maybe I'll say a dirty word. I don't know. Maybe it would sound stupid. Most likely it sounds stupid. So yeah, this is a thing. This is happening. Let's look into it. This is, I think, really fun. Very weird. Very... It's like a world where, like, by the way, any sort of adult content that is ever mentioned will be specifically banned. They burn the sort of comics, they destroy the digital thing, etc., etc., etc. Which, one, I feel like for some reason they ban stuff for that stuff education-wise. When you become a teenager and you finally learn what it actually is. And it's so weird to be like, yeah, we're banning this. Okay. And it's about like being like, oh, being able to express yourself and say this and say that. It's like the Sims. It's like the joke that's like in every Simpsons episode. Like, why don't someone pick up children? It's like, okay. It's just a bit odd. And yeah. So yeah. Eventually they do talk about some odd things. Because with a thing that they talk about, certain words get used. Which, that's fine. But certain people have specific things which... One of them, which is sort of like the antagonist villain, it's like, why? Any of it, why? You are horrible. And it's weird. I also like some of the images where like some people have these like things that are sort of like more explicit, and then it's like, oh, this is a nice picture. Like, nope. That is not what you think it is. And that is kind of weird that you don't know what that thing is meant to be insinuating. But yeah. So yeah, this is unusual. And the only reason why I sort of finished it is because a while ago I saw this. I thought it was going to be like a fantasy type thing. I don't know why. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to check it out. So I did. It's fun. It's stupid. It fully knows it's stupid. But so being like sort of fun. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like. And good night.
The Queen has fallen. I, Starscream, am now the Queen of England. You're watching a loop.
Aw, man. There's something I'm supposed to be doing. What is it? It feels like it's important. Oh shit, dumbass, breathe!
This is a transcript of an actual radio conversation that happened between the British and the Irish off the coast of Kerry.
Please divert your course 15 degrees to the south to avoid a collision. Recommend you divert your course 15 degrees to the north to avoid a collision. Negative. You will have to divert your course 15 degrees to the south to avoid a collision.
This is the captain of the British Navy ship. I say again, divert your course.
Negative, I say again. You will have to divert your course.
This is the aircraft carrier HMS Britannia, the second largest ship in the British Atlantic Fleet. We are accompanied by 3 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and numerous support vessels. I demand that you change your course 15 degrees north. I say again, that is 15 degrees north, or countermeasures will be undertaken to ensure the safety of this ship.
We are a lighthouse. Your call.
Dad.
Yes,
Dad,
Louise,
hi.
yes.
Did you
Hi.
know that it only takes 2 pounds of pressure to drive someone's nose bone into their brain?
That's... what?
2 pounds! That's it, Dad!
Why are you telling me this, Louise?
Revenge.
Okay, that was terrible. I hate this boss, but I love it best in this section. Okay. Okay, bishop. Are you kidding me? I almost had a perfect round. Ah. Okay. We will conquer the world. Probably America will do it first in this timeline. America takes over the world. So yeah, I can't do anything legitimately. Yeah.
Do you feel as though you're wanted? Oh, absolute dumbass. I'm like, wanted. What do I want in life? No, it's do you feel like you are needed in life or wanted in life? Yeah. I will quote Rick and Morty. No one exists on purpose. No one lives. No one has a reason to live. We're all going to die. Come and watch TV. That's how I live my life. Which is, no one has a purpose to live. But let's watch TV and watch anime. I fully feel like I'm a person sometimes. Do you feel left out?
Would be no, because I'm not reviewing Secrets of Silver Springs until the 5th. I will technically be able to like jump so much of it back, and that will be happening. It'll be so weird. Because after Junior Taskmaster tomorrow, no, it'll be like 2 days, because it'll be 2 days. But tomorrow I would review season 1 and season 2 of Silver Springs, and then I would have be able to watch both the 4th, because like realistically, if I open them up, it only opens one arm. I watch the videos I would watch, seasons I would watch today to catch up, to make like some reviews. Would be, I don't know why I'm saying catch up, but like The Villainess season 1, Junior Taskmaster, and then Pokemon Horizon. And then, after I've done the review of the...
Are you here? There's a ghost. Or maybe I'm knocking on the table. You decide which one.
So yeah, Sulphur Springs season 1. To be clear, I did sort of watch this, but I didn't finish it. also season 2 exists, and season 3 exists. And also, I forgot most. I remember most of the story. I remember the main story, which is basically, sort of like, actually, no, I'm not gonna. Which is basically the beats of the story. But I forgot it. But, yeah. The one thing I am going to omit in the non-spoiler section is one of the things, two things. One, I don't want to say it because it sounds like I'm being an ass. Being like, look, there's children who can act. It makes it seem like a... but yeah, but like the actors that they have definitely in season 1 are like, they actually have emotions. They actually have reasoning. You don't have, you actually have them caring, which I respect. I like. I also like the fact that you have younger versions like, oh yeah, I can see that. Because they have a thing, and one person in the past is meant to grow up to someone in the future. Don't worry about it. That's a spoiler thing, but don't worry about it. The main point is within the two, it's like, oh yeah, I can see that. I also like the idea, because this takes place in Silver Springs. And I think the house, I'm pretty sure the house is in the advertisement. But the one thing I definitely like is that the house looks decrepit. There's so many moments where like, and it's like, ooh, this is fun. Like I said on my stream, I was thinking of planning to put season 1, 2, and 3, maybe in one episode, but I chose not to. As you can see here, this is just season 1, and you will get season 2 on... You'll get season 2 on the 8th. So in basically... Yeah, in 4 days, you'll get season 2. And then in another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... No. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days, you'll get season 3. I would also like to point out, if I don't finish Simpsons season 9, you might get it in 4 days. So either way, it's 5 to 4 days between each one of the seasons, which is going to be a bit weird. But overall, I think this is a fun series. And let's talk about, in my opinion, the fun stuff. So what do I mean about fun stuff? So the whole thing is the secrets. What's going on? What's this? So this has a lot of stuff. There's some moments that I feel a little bit weird, but I feel that's on purpose. Like, there's a moment where it's like, I want you to never talk. There's a moment where you have these two separate families, and this one's mom was like, I want you to never be friends with this kid and his two siblings. Also, she has a sibling. And it's like, why? What's going on? And I love it. The more you learn, you do understand more. You do get more understanding, but at some point you still get more questions. There's certain things, like, you think it's like this person's father because they were communicating, they had a bunch of pranks together, and they generally knew each other. And then you realize that, one, both of them are like, oh, I didn't know her, but they did. And also, her mum later finds out, she asked her mum, oh, did you go to this camp? No, she did. And then later on, they go to a thing with the talent contest, and she sort of rigs it. Or seemingly rigs it. Which is a thing where it's like, wait, what's going on? And the more you learn about what happens, because the whole thing's set up on, by the way, the ghosts exist in this house. There's a ghost, it's doing certain things. It's most likely from this person here. And it's like, what is this?
why is this happening? And I like later on, one of the things that happens is, as they go through, the whole point was this girl went missing and tried to figure out what happened and why it happened. And then you realize, well, she did went missing. She literally went back in time even further, and that's sort of why that sort of happened. It's sort of like going further and further back, and they had to do this whole thing, which I like, with the canister being like, and then they finally get along, yay, and like learn about each other. And sort of get this settled, because like you can tell that originally, like, yeah, everyone's lying because this girl went missing, and yes, both sides didn't tell the other what actually went on, because one, like, something happened, he left and ran, and then the next thing he knows is she went missing. Which I like the idea, if you look at the timeline, he ran, she ran, but ran somewhere else into like this like small cubby area, which led to a bunker, which led to a machine, which led to time travel, which is absolutely interesting. I love it. I love that idea of like time travel. And I'm so excited for season 3, which even though you're going to get season 3 on like the 15th, I'm going to watch it on the 5th. Not today though. Today is BBC where I'm watching Pokemon. But yeah, I watch weird stuff. My next couple of days are Pokemon, Secrets of Sulphur Springs, Alien vs Predator, and Four Nights of the Apocalypse alongside Fairy Tail 1 episode and My Adventures in Superman season 2. A lot of up and downs. It's just really fun in that way. Anyway, I definitely think this is really good. And how it's continues into season 2 with the photo and bringing that up. Oh, we're not done yet. There's more. Here you go. Because I feel like to season 1 to season 2 and season 2 to season 3, they have a good hook into the next season, because I like that idea being like, we're gonna like put this thing, because I don't know if it's gonna be a season 4. I highly doubt it, because like this series I think is old, and if there was going to be a season 4, it would already be out by now. So yes, Sulphur Springs was cancelled. No season 4 for Disney Channel's Adventure series. Springs will not return for a 4th season. It's cancelled after 4 series per deadlines. Don't know why it was cancelled. Actors age, yeah, fair. Most of the casts are fairly young. So, surprisingly, kids grow up. And season 1 to season 2 canonically takes place right off. If they did a thing where it's like 2 years later, they could have done something with it, but they didn't. So they're kind of having this, and then they grow up, and then they grow up. Which makes sense. It makes sense. Hopefully they were able to finish it in a succinct, nice way that sort of wraps everything up. Is season 3. Otherwise I'll be sad. But yeah. So yeah. This mystery is really good. And going into season 2, introducing the... You might need to go back in time again. For what? We don't know. I'm not going to mention it. Because I do know why. I do know the whole thing that season 2 and I like it. But that's not important. But I do think it's really good. But again, I hope you like, I hope you enjoy, and most importantly, good night.
Come on. Give me a sign. Any sign. Please. Okay, that is a sign, just not the one I'm looking for.
Dad.
Yes,
Dad,
Louise,
hi.
yes.
Did you
Hi.
know that it only takes 2 pounds of pressure to drive someone's nose bone into their brain?
That's What?
£2, that's it, Dad.
Why are you telling me this, Louise?
Revenge.
Inappropriate things to say when you get stabbed. Also, TikTok, before you ban this video, this is a spoon. Ugh. Well, that was rude. I'm gonna take that as a no. Oh, that's real mature. I'm getting the sense you're upset with me.
Fellow Americans, I think we all know where this is going, so let's just skip to the end.
Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find?
A picture of me?
No! The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are.
You might like record this of like what time it is. Wait, no, I could just use this. So like 2:22, which I fully admit with this idea. Let me just, because I actually like this idea enough. Yeah, like nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs. Everyone's gonna die, and that's a morbid quote. It's like the same thing with Memento Mori, where it's like everyone's gonna die. Like nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs. No one's gonna die. It's like no one fully fits in a specific idea in a specific ideology. Watch TV, where it's like the idea is basically everyone could die. Everyone could have a thing where they could like legitimately die the next day. Why not have fun with life? Why not do what you want to do? Create, do this, do that. There's a certain point where like actually live your life, but there's a certain point where it's like you're alive now. You are going to die. You might not have a purpose. You might not belong anywhere, but who cares? Let's do shit. So yeah. Are you kidding me? Why do I keep making the same mistake? It is just annoying. I keep getting like really good. Because the first 2 rounds I'm like good. Yeah, I'm even good at the muffin. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can actually do this one because I'm curious. I'm gonna try a couple attempts at this. Because I don't care. Yeah, trampolines are dangerous. Unless you know what you're doing, you can get seriously injured. And also, how big's your backyard, Simpson? Okay. I would like to point out, trampolines aren't bad. Trampolines, when you don't have proper safety precautions, like if you have like either walls up or safety crash mats, or if you go to certain places where it's like fully covered up in a way that you have crash mats on like even the springs, that's safe because statistically you are going to be fine. If it's open, then yeah, if I want to. So yeah, time for a controversial thing. So this exists. This is here. Alien. I am going to admit one thing, which is essentially all of the things I've watched in a Nostalgia Critic review. I knew it was... Here's what I did knew.
Actually, no, I haven't mentioned events, but what the some things I did know I've also mentioned. I've mentioned some things I've spoiled, but one, in case you haven't seen those videos, but you have seen Alien 1 2, I'm not going to say anything. I did find this okay. It's fine. I might even make this a shorter one. Most of the Alien stuff I've been making reviews, but like I've been saying before, I wanted to watch the new Alien series, wanted to catch up with all the aliens. Here's Alien 3. But yeah, let's talk about the... So yeah, the thing. What am I talking about? Well, one of the spoilers, 54321, that knew through his videos is all the companions that are in 2 are dead. Technically. The Symphozoid is technically still alive, but but has one scene, explains a bit of information, and then it's like, shut me off forever. I can't live like this. And she does that. I also knew about the cult, and that it was like a prison cult, which was confusing. Sorry, it just cut off. I'm not going to actually change it, because this is just the spoilers. But overall, in general, it's just... One, bringing in the idea with a slow alien, really bringing that in as a mystery. Second, bringed it up with some action. Third, brought a dog. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. It's fine for what it is, hence why this is a short one compared to, I think, the last two. But yeah, don't think it's great. Besides knowing that Ripley dies in this is the only thing that you need for Alien Resurrection, because that's a point, I wouldn't recommend this. If you want to skip this, Alien Ripley dies with aliens, and also she has an alien in her brain. All of that is the only spoilers you need. I don't think you need to watch this. I didn't really like it. But I know some people might say something. But yeah, I don't know. But overall, I just thought it was decent. But I hope you enjoyed, and good night, and goodbye.
Inappropriate things to say when you get stabbed. Also, TikTok, before you ban this video, this is a spoon. Ugh. Well, that was rude. I'm gonna take that as a no. Oh, that's real mature. I'm getting the sense you're upset with me.
Things that turn Alistair on to the max. Part 6. Definitely not angel dust. I'm sorry, what?
Okay, listen up. You're my clone, which means evil runs through your veins.
Okay.
You're destined to be a villain.
Ooh, is that fun?
So much fun.
Yay!
Of course, fun, surrounded by, miserable suffering, loneliness, and, zero appreciation. I mean, zero. Do you even know what I'm saying?
No, but it sounds fun. I want to be miserable, too.
Good, that's the spirit. Now I gotta go do something. You stay put.
Why?
Because you can't come.
Why?
Because it's serious business and you're not ready yet.
Why?
I said you can't go.
Why?
Oh, fine, but no talking.
Do you have a car seat?
A what?
A kid's car seat.
You're a clone cat sitting in a flying mechanical bug. They don't make a car seat for that.
Okay, Papa.
I got my ankles microwaved.
X-rayed.
They took my blood away to use for science.
Cholesterol test.
April had her sinuses removed.
Looked at.
Some guy looked at my wiener, touched it. That was weird.
And that guy wasn't even a doctor.
That...
It's so hard to get an ass with this because I can't get hit once. This is so hard. Obviously this episode, which I've also watched, I don't know if I've watched the last one, But I've watched this one because everyone claims that this is the this inspired the episode. This was inspired by the episode of the original Twilight Zone, which is the same thing but in place. Yeah, what? Oh, that's just a couple of points. Okay, let me just restart. Yes. I could just basically, yeah, no one's behind me. Done. Yeah, if the question was like, if you could turn back for any reason, would you? And I think that's like turning back. I don't know. Yeah. I think I've said stuff about it, but I've had a bad experience when I was in school. That made me do something that made me regret it. It was like a truly stupid thing. Like I was bullied and I attacked him. And a couple of things. One, I was bullied, like, not physically, but verbally. And it was, like, at a certain point, I had enough. And it was annoying. But it did not justify what I did. I went too far. But, Horizon 1 on the 4th again, because, again, I removed the V for Simpsons one. It's Secret of Silver Spring Disney+. The 5th, which is the day after today's review, I'm also going to watch Alien vs. Predator. Then you have the normal 4, Fairy Tail, and then I've added The Simpsons, if I finish it. If I don't, I'll be moving it down. Then I have The Android, Aliens, Cells. I would love to know what people think I'm talking about when I'm talking about these shows, if I'm just using the first one. Guess what any of these shows are, you won't be able to guess. Seven, Housing, Beast, Simpsons, Predators, Doctor, Invincible, Prometheus. But again, when The Simpsons, that might also be moved down again. If I didn't finish it during this week, it'll be moved to the 15th, etc., etc., etc. Don't think so. I've done things that made me sick. I haven't drank water for 3 days. Do you want to question how that's done? I don't know. I was stupid. I drank like a Fanta, and I was like, I'm fine. Maybe 2 Fantas, maybe a couple, like I drink, but not like any water. Just cover it in water and like put it in the sun. So you seek a vampire. It's 2 doors to your right, and then there's 1 3 doors to your left. Have good hunting! Yeah, I thought that would be funny, so I did it. Anyway, Castlevania. Actually, no, I've got the other one here, so I can actually pronounce it. Also, why does that still say season 1? That should be season 2. I'm gonna give up on trying to pronounce it. This, I think, is a very interesting thing. Because I think it's based off... There was another series, which is also called Castlevania, which is a TV series. Which, if I'm correct, I watched, but I don't know too much of it. I know it's about Dracula. Dracula had a... wife, and then the wife died. He became evil, well, somewhat engulfed by grief. So it's that sort of thing that I like and I find really interesting. Besides the point, when I found this series, I'm like, oh, Castlevania. It's like, oh, this is not the one I remember. Let's watch it. So again, it was one of the things I just put in within the series, within the ongoing thing that I just keep adding stuff to on my things to watch. And overall, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. I think it'll be fun. And I did. I really liked it. And I thought it was really fun and really creative. The one thing I am going to say, though, is overall, this, because it's doing with vampires, and it's not like there are some like series like Hotel Transylvania, and what was the other series I have? There's another series that, wait, I've got the OP on my downloads, and yes, I have it specifically downloaded because it's like really fun. And sometimes I'm like, I'm just gonna put this on for like the feels. So many intros I'm like, I just put on, and I haven't watched it like a while because I'm like, I like it. Some of the intros are like the Hallow Shadow. I like the intro of Akaba's Trip. I also do Kickback, which is from Chainsaw. Revengers, I also put. I'm just talking about that. Jingo Django. I'm gonna see how many people know that. Welcome to the Demon School. Dead End. There's so many OPs. I'm like, I would like to listen to it, and I like listening to like anime openings. But where is it? Nope, never mind. It's about like the vampire that just keeps dying, and that's his one thing. But you do get, but this is like the most one you can kind of tell with this image. It gets a bit dark. So yeah, let's get into that darkness. Okay, I'm gonna open Netflix up because I think like I've heard earlier me being like, oh, this should be on season 2, not season 1. Is I've already seen season 2. Okay, so as a result, and in a way, it's not gonna be in this week. It's gonna be next week. It's gonna be the one on Monday. Which means it's going to be in the same month, luckily. But overall, I have seen the second season. I've seen it overall. And that will be one of the things that happens. Oh, I just realized something. Anyway. But overall, that is one of the things that I have watched and have finished. So as a result, to make sure that I don't, spoil things from season 2, because I don't want to, in a way, I'm gonna just keep an eye. Oh, yeah, loved it. Yeah, can you just open it? Okay, there we go. Yep, good. So, when you introduce this and introduce sort of like the dynamics, the one thing I like is because magic is a thing, and it's like, oh, I can't do magic. And then he learns it by the end. And I like that sort of like, it's a very simplified, he learns magic. But I also like the idea that it introduces with him being like, oh, I must do this and I must do that. And then when he's older, it's like, yeah, sure, fine. And it's more relaxed. And I also like the way that it ends. And obviously, if I'm going to say the ending, it is the giant spoiler. But I like how it's like you build up to this moment that you know what's going to happen. You know what we're going to talk about. Sacrifice. And it ends up that that happens, and it's really interesting. And 2, it's like, because they wanted to sacrifice the daughter, which is dumb. But I like one thing, and this I think proves how this is one of the best mums. It's like, You want to sacrifice someone? Okay, I'll sacrifice myself instead of my daughter. I don't want to be a part of this either, but I will do this if it means my daughter is safe. I'm like, that is just truly like, when I saw that, I'm like, one, please no, please save it. That like, it's like in season 2, they're gonna save her, and it's gonna be saved. By the way, this is my opinion, it's not what actually happened, so I'm not gonna say what happens, but that's what I felt like. Maybe they're gonna like figure out a thing, and then this, and then that, and then we gotta figure out how to not have her be sacrificed. Okay, that's the plan. And last scene, she turns into a vampire. That moment is like, one, shows how amazing she is as a parent compared to her father, who literally chose to sacrifice his daughter sake because like, it's out of marriage, and it's like one of those things, and it's like she literally did the sort of like jumping on a mine for her daughter, and it's like, I actually legitimately thought that it was going to be like, oh, maybe the season 2 is going to be like trying to find a way to not have this happen, but no, it happens. But I do like it. I do think it's really interesting. And yeah, it's very complicated with all of that. But I'm going to stop myself there because I don't have anything else to say. So yeah. I'm excited for season 2 of this because I have a lot to say about that and how that affects things. It's not even talking about some things it does talk about. I feel like it does talk about this, which is based on, when they first meet 2 of the characters. Yeah. It talks about something that does impact, and yes, I know this is conclusion, but I just realized that they do this, which they talk about slavery and how it is, and escaping it and breaking it down, and I like it. It's a very interesting, and that's why I think it's interesting, because it talks about these dark things, because this takes place during like the moment of like change. This takes place during the French Revolution, which there's a lot of stuff going on during that. Like rights and all this stuff are being questioned, and it's so interesting of how they talk about it, how they bring it in. And definitely, I know a couple of people have pointed out being like, oh, vampires are nothing but aristocrats. But 2 things. One, vampires are just a concept, and a concept that is as in the public domain, so they could be anything that anyone wants. But I like this sort of like aristocrats, sort of like they have the vibe of like, well, it's normal for me to be above you because I am rich, and every single time I see those moments, I want to punch that person in the face and hit him hard. So yeah. It's like, do you mind if I just talk with you a second? Yeah, what do you do with this? Don't worry, I just want to talk with my fists. I was like, don't you talk with my mouth? Yeah, this is a different conversation. But yeah, overall, this is really fun, and I really enjoy it in general. I was about to have it be 7-8 minutes, but sure, 10 minutes. It's good. Watch it. Amazing. Woo! Yeah. Good night.
So if you know the Pokemon series that's on BBC, and I don't know where else it is, that's sort of like anime, or like, I don't know what it is, but one of the things is one of the Pokemon that is with like the free sort of like group of the main one is Quaxly. Sorry if I mispronounced it. But does he seem to have a similar sort of personality, I don't know why, to Huey, Dewey, I think it's Dewey, like the middle child from DuckTales reboot. Is that just me? Am I going crazy being like, these 2 have a similar sort of personality, and they feel like they're like 2 people who are not like the same. I'm not gonna be like someone copied someone somewhere, but like they seem similar as like personality. I don't know why.
Wow.
That's them, officer! That's the person who's British unironically! Take them away!
Shit. Charles, they found us.
I understand.
By the accents.
Okay.
Oui, oui.
Bonjour. Hola.
Autopsy 3. Time 2104. 27.
What the bloody hell is going? For the time being, doing anything won't change anything, so because I need to fix my mouse, which apparently decided.
Test 1. Oh, this has gone badly. So yeah, this show, and I'm going to be completely honest, I wanted to watch this knowing, because there's some things on anime being like, the show starts where it's like the character's like this, and the character does this. Did I step on something? Yeah. Right. I like the show begins with this. You know the one with like the sort of like the voice. I'm not gonna diss those people because they exist and they're just talking about the show. And sometimes I watch it and I'm like, for like 5 minutes ish, and the reason why I want to isn't so I can get spoiled. It's so I sort of get what the show is about. And after a certain while, because it was ages ago, I didn't watch it. And then I found it. And I'm like, okay, let's watch it. So, I already knew about the spoiler. I'm not going to say the spoiler, but I already knew it going in. So, you will be spoiled. There is a twist that happens. But I'm going to say straight up, I don't know if they advertise it. Let me just check. Yeah, so I'm not going to say if they say this or not, because I don't know if they advertise that as a thing or not. But the one thing I am going to say, how they do the action scenes and how they do the magic, I think is really creative from person to person. Overall, it's just it's really dark and just really insane. So let's get into those things. So yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The whole thing is sort of like another one of those magical dark ones. And the one thing I like is because there's 3 I know. 1 I haven't watched, but the reason why I like there's the 2 dark magical girls I know about, and I am gonna include 1 as the whole because I know there's 2 technical series, but it is a similar idea. You have magical girl, you have Madoka magical girls and magical records in one side, which I am going to admit I do like. The idea of like despair and misery and all of that stuff going forward as an ending loop. I was watching this thing by Darcy Talks About Games, where it talks about loops and things would be. What was the thing? It was, yeah, looping. And there were so many things with like loops, and I like that idea of like darkness looping because like that's how the world works, and like that's how we can keep the universe stable. And it's effed up in that sort of like pattern, like we will do this is the only way that we know. But I also like this, which is we're just testing them, and I got bored. Like the other one, isn't that useful. It isn't like a moral thing. But I like how that one you have, this is how it's done. This one is, we didn't need to do this. We just wiped your memory. That was boring. So now the murder. It's like, oh great, murder. Murder, murder, murder. I find it insane and so effed up. It's like, we're going to change this because we feel like it. I also find it so effed up how they're like, yeah, this has happened. Like, what are you worried about? Like, this just happens as normal. It's like, no, people are dying. It's like, this is just a test. I'm like, are you kidding me? No. It's insane and horrible. And as you just get less and less and all of it happens, I just find it so insane. And how it ends, I love. But I also like the idea that you have here's one character and you slowly reveal each one of their backstories, why they became a magical girl, why, and you can tell that this was designed to create conflict with some of that. But some of their histories I find so effed up, and you get why they do what they do, and it is so insane. But yeah, I like this in a way, because with Dark Magical Girls, most of the time it's just magical girls, and it's reversing it so that like you get like people who are more psychological. But I like in a way that this, in a certain regard, is essentially Magical Girl Hunger Games. And I like that. Overall. I do think it's interesting because of that. Overall. And I would recommend. It is dark, like I've said in the non-spoiler section of this. Right now. But yeah, I do think this is good. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and good night.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can get free heart, because I think that might be better. I'm not using the dash a lot of the time. I know automatic parries don't do anything. Why do I keep doing this? I keep making mistakes. Joe, I'm gonna do the same plan. Because this is 45. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to YouTube. Then let's go to... So, I got in the last one, and I'm just gonna wait for 5. I'm gonna try again, try a different strategy. I don't know what I'm doing, because I need something. Something needs to work, but I don't... Here are the notes, here to this, here to that. Being like 5 different playlists. And now I've gotten it down to less than that. I still got a lot, but a lot of them are not relevant. So I've got shows I have not finished. Which, like before, 1 word only, Your Wizards, 4, Shangri-La, of Fruteria, Pokemon, there's a lot of shows beginning with and then a bunch of Simpsons.
with all of that being like, yeah, these are the shows I have not finished, but I have started. Alongside that, I also have the Simpsons section where I've got like, these are how long the episodes are going to be, but that's just for the Simpsons, so I know what section I'm on. And then I've got the most important ones. I've got review to watch, which basically means...
So M. Blastroyce wants me to ruin schools, specifically American schools. I can do it, M. Blastroyce, but it's gonna be rough. If a visitor from another planet, or say Europe, came to America, there are two things they would think are really weird. Number one, the way we pay for healthcare. That's a different video. But number two, the fact that we fund public schools via property taxes. What that means is that the amount of money your school gets isn't based on need or equality, it's based on the real estate prices in your neighborhood. So if you live in this neighborhood, your school has resources up the ass. But if you live in this neighborhood, sorry, your teacher's gotta use her personal debit card to buy pencils. This means that school districts in the same state can have vastly different funding. This rich Arizona district gets to spend $25,000 per student per year. While this poorer neighborhood, one county over, is only able to spend $6,000 a student. So if you're wondering why we have so much income inequality in America, consider this. We know from social science that getting a good education is the most important factor in increasing your future income, yet we built an education system that gives the best education to the richest people who need the help the least. What?
I will see if there's any spirits here. That rolls at 7. Let's see if there are. No, that's stage 1. So yeah, we're back. Sulphur Springs. This is season 2, and yeah, the original chat, and I'm gonna mention this, the same thing that I'm gonna do with Alien. I was just trying to be like, should I combine it? And that was with The Simpsons. The Simpsons had a thing. I've remodeled everything. A lot has changed since the last one. I had so many different things working on each other, and I was about to do this thing where I'm like, Simpson. And I realized that was stupid. So I just have one now that's on shows I need to wait, where it's basically Simpsons, Disney Plus, and it's one episode. And then I do have 10, 11, 12, blah, 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 but that's near the bottom. So yeah. But again, this is just a sort of show that I watch. Again, I just like this. I find this really entertaining, and I really enjoy this. I am annoyed at season 3 because season 4 wasn't going to happen, and what season 3 left on, yes, it left on a twist, but I got mentioned that here because that's not important. The one thing I like in this one is that they have this whole thing about sort of, because the last one dealt with like, oh, this person went disappearing, this is about it. This one was about a sort of like dispute. Okay, so we have a picture of you in the past. Why? Learning about it and learning about certain things. And the spoiler session is going to be huge, but learning about what's going on, how this happened, is so interesting. It definitely leads into what happens in season 3 a lot more. Like, I feel like you can't, like, you can somewhat understand season 2 if you forgot certain parts of season 1. But I feel like season 2, I know that sounds stupid, but like season 1 is about one story. Season 2 and 3 are sort of about one thing, even though there is a major change, and I like it. I love that change. I think it's really interesting. Actually, let's talk about that now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One of the major spoilers was the fact. So what happened was, in the past, this family owned this farm and the house, which is where the sort of like hotel is, the Tripton Hotel. But the sort of like one person, their sort of like one of the ancestry's mother, great grandmother, I think, I don't know how many greats it was, died, and because of this lawyer who did this sleazy trick about it and tried to work around, it meant that because the original plan was to sell the land,
sell the farmland, but keep the house. But because of what they did, they worked around it, and it's like, oh, no, now I own the hand. Leave. And at a certain point, it's, well, if you know the time period, it's so effed up that he got away with this, and he manipulated people to be like, oh yeah, this happened. And it is so, like, inhumane and so dark, and I love it because of that. I also like the fact that, like, so many things are being messed up because you have the spirit being like, oh, this isn't right, this is happening in this specific way, and is getting annoyed and just wants them to leave. I also like one of the scenes where it's like, we're here, deal with it. It's like a big moment, like, we're here, deal with it. It's like, oh, it's so fun. It's so interesting. But the one thing I absolutely love, the reason why I think this whole section will probably leave until 9 minutes, even though we're not even past 5. Because you deal with this document, and it's like, instead of like, oh, here's the actual document, give it to the person in the past, it's like, one, the history will change. And it's one of those things where it's like really interesting, like, yeah, we have this document to prove this. We could easily give it to the past. I would like to point out he could clearly say probably forged or whatever. I think they do talk about that. And I do like that idea. But you take it to the future, you show the parents about it and show them the sort of like, oh yeah, this is sort of the thing that happened. That sort of like created this. Sort of like document. Anyway, weird. But you show the parents the document and it's like, yeah, by the way, this house should have been ours. And like the land, the area around it, the farmland, was owned by you, but not the actual house. And I like that he's like, no. And then both sides are like, do you know what? Why don't we join in this together? Like, I was looking for a new place to open my, like, sort of like, I don't know if it's baking or cooking. I think it's a bit of both. I was looking for a new place to do this. You wanted to open a new hotel. Why don't we work with this together? And I love this. Because besides opening up with them, 54321, they go to the future, which is insane, which also shows another side of it, which has the one thing I like is in the past they swapped because they look identical, you can't really tell. But at a certain point, which I think is really interesting, is you'd have her younger brother, who in the future grows up and does this thing with engineering and builds the time machine. You have him sort of looking after the girl who disappeared in the first one, and he asks questions, and I love at a certain point being like, he tries to hide it, and it's like, well, I used your machine. This is how I got here. I shouldn't be in this time period because I shouldn't be born. And I just like, and she doesn't say it like that, but I just love that, like, trying to say it without sounding insane. And I like it. And so much. I think some of the stuff would have been explained in season 4. Because you have this more older woman show up from time to time. In, I think, season 2 and season 1 and season 3. Which I think was meant to be an older version of the girl. Which I find really interesting. But overall, I like it. It's building up to something that happens later in the last episode, which I like. It's like something odd is going on, and I absolutely think this is interesting, and I'm curious where they're going to go with this. Well, I was curious where they're going to go with this, and I am annoyed where they would have gone with this in season 4, because they introduced a couple of things. I feel like they might have done one more season, but they did just do a And I'm not going to say what because that's not relevant to this and it's not to do with season 2. But I love the other hook that they have, which his father finds the bunker, and it's dun, 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 but she's around the corner. His friend, when he was younger, is around the corner, and still like that age when they were younger, and it's like, what are they going to do? What? And I like it. And because this is over, this will be like another thing that I release. Obviously not on TikTok, so it won't be on like one of my counts. I'll just merge the 30 minutes anyway, because why not? Why not? Da, 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 da. Anyway, I'm most likely to do it on this one or that one. I don't know. Most likely probably on that one. But I do think this is really interesting, and I absolutely would reckon. Wait. So yeah, I do like this. I am slightly annoyed about season 4, but we can't do anything about it. But it was a good watch, and I would recommend it with amazing characters, amazing dramas, even though they lie a lot and there's a lot of miscommunication, which is a bit annoying, but yeah, it is still fun, but a bit dramatic. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and good night! So yeah, I recorded this, it was 3 minutes, but because this is a short one and I might do the 3 minutes for the other one, I just find it really inspiring that someone made something and got inspired by my videos. I don't know why. So with this, I'm using the roundabout wrong, which my question is, if I am using the roundabout wrong, how are you meant to use it? Because I know the one thing with the roundabout is, I'm just gonna find something. You have a projectile that goes from sort of like your player, goes forward a bit, and then goes back a bit. And I don't know how to use it, because sometimes I use it to just like spam. Like I would face one way, chuck it that way, and then it'll go back that way. And I do that on the muffin stage. With the muffin, I usually sometimes face at him, and if it misses, I'm like, oh, it's just gonna come back anyway. But it's gonna like flood the screens with a bunch of stuff. But that might not be the most optimal way, which if I can improve using the roundabout, because that's the one I use the most, until I can buy another weapon. I don't know. I don't know what would be the best way to use it. So if anyone has any tips, or if this commenter has any tips, how would be the best way to use the roundabout? Okay. Okay. Through all your battles and all my rhymes, you have failed and perished 157 times. Also, I love that technically this is all cut out. It's hilarious. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to not edit tonight, so you won't see the highlight till tomorrow, and then because I'm going to come back to edit, and then I will finish this. I'm also going to see if there's any updates I need to do, and I'm going to listen to music before I go to bed. So yeah.
Wow, no one's gonna notice that. No one at all. Not like that's obvious, and the most obvious thing that I could see. No. Because most of the time it's just darkness. And I'm like, yes, maybe something out there. But I have the power of a glass. And if there's someone coming here, I will probably be dead by now. So, who cares? Also, I'm mostly in my room. And that is mostly closed. No, but I should, because I constantly forget to lock the doors. No. 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 Yes. Superficial. Oh, fake. No. Am I over dramatic in some of my videos? Yeah. Am I like putting drama in them? Yeah. But I'm not gonna like go to the point of being, I think, what would be considered superficial. Is this truly me? Am I sometimes a bit like chill? I don't know. I don't know.
Woo! I'm gonna do the intro to this because I'm gonna do a couple of things. One thing I'm gonna start doing is there's a couple of like Mars Singer that I want to watch, but because I also want to do an episode of like, oh, here's who I think it is. On like Sunday to Thursday, I'm gonna have an episode being like, oh, here's who I think it's gonna be, because I'm gonna watch up until one of the reveal. That means like there's gonna be a couple of things being like, so I've moved it back a bit to have as such, so that will still be like, oh, the review's here, so you don't really, and we're not really gonna watch anything new. So that's gonna happen. I've got a couple of NAs, so it's mostly fine. Like a couple of days, there's a couple of NAs, and I've got to move. We've got a lot of stuff forward, so that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I'm gonna use a couple of the intros being like, here's the notes I've taken for this person.
So hi, I'm doing my guess for the I'm a Celebrity Mars Singer, and I'm gonna read out the evidence I have because I got notes. Yes, I get notes. I'm one of those persons who keeps notes. So there's Chomp Chomp, Eye for Talent. So I feel like, I don't know what, I feel like it might, so the judge's guess was Kim Woodburn, Carolyn Vorderman, Lisa Snowden, Gemma Collins, and Katie Price. I don't know what, definitely because like there's words with numbers, there's coach, there's countdown. There was the fact that the mic hit with Chichi Grub, which is the person being revealed. I think it could be, I don't know why, I'm usually bad with this, so I'm gonna guess Kim Woodburn. I don't know why. Even Jonathan, that was the one that Jonathan originally guessed, but laughed. But yeah, that's my original guess. So this is me after I'm actively watching it. So I'm gonna see who it is. It's Alison Hammer. Alison Hammer. Oh. Alison Hammer. Oh, that's it. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that I'm gonna watch the rest of like her doing the second singing and all the clues later, but that was really interesting and I didn't know. So yeah.
Just repeat after me, okay? Silencio Bruno.
Okay.
Silencio Bruno. Yeah, that's it. Again. Silencio Bruno. Silencio Bruno.
Wow.
Is someone talking about me? Nah, that doesn't happen. Don't talk about me.
This is funny.
And now, wait. You're supposed to be dead. So yeah, here's Alien Resurrections, which is the next one in this. Yeah, I love I'm saying that, like, that's not obvious. That's how numbers work. Yeah, Alien Resurrection, which I liked. I did. It's not as good as I think 2 is. I think 2 did it a lot better than what this was, but I like what they were trying to do as the idea. It's so interesting. I would also like to point out the alien, which fully is on screen, looks creepy and looks so like it just looks off, like not in that way. I'm like this, like I think it's like, what's the effect called, where one thing looks, there's an effect, you know, the effect where like it looks somewhat human, but it's like the thing that like if it looks human but not enough like human, is like the eeriness about it. It's like, ugh. But yeah, I want to talk about more about, but spoilers. The one thing I liked, which isn't really a major spoiler, but it is one thing that I love, is that you bring all these people in and you scan certain items. There's like this soup cup and there's like, oh, do you want to scan the soup? There's someone with a wheelchair, etc, etc. And there's certain things on certain people, and it's like, and then triggering the metal detector. It's like, yeah, obviously these are just, it's like, it's obvious, these are just a soup container. And then he turns the soup container into a gun. And it's like, and then certain parts of the wheelchair, the wheelchair is still a wheelchair, but certain parts of the wheelchair is put together to make a gun. And I find that so interesting, whereas like you're putting together all of this thing. I also like that this crew legitimately, one of them was like, yep, I'm actually in here to try and rescue this person. Also, that person is straight up a symbiote. No, a symphozoid, which is a human, not human. Which I'm like, what? Wait a second. There's a certain moment where it's like, she gets an injury. She opens up and it's like, wait, this isn't blood. And it's like that like white liquid that you get, that you saw from the others. And it's like, that looks so realistic. It's so creepy. And I love it. I love it. It's like, throughout the motion movies, you wouldn't be like, robot. But obviously, it's really fun in that regards. I love it. And I also love, who is the person? I think it's Sigourney. Let me just double check. I've got too many tabs open my Google and I'm not opening more. Alien Resurrection. Cast. Sigourney Weaver has this almost eerie presence to her. Like, in the last 3, she somewhat seemed like she was getting a bit more annoyed with the company, which, they're valid. Like, first one, like, you didn't know what was going on, so you didn't know as much. Second one is like, yeah, people aren't listening, and people didn't learn. And then the third one's like, I've done this once before. Thanks. But I like this one, because this one, technically, she did die, even though I'm like, oh, you're alive? And I like the performance of, it looks
not human. Like, something's not right. We know she's somewhat of a human, but she's somewhat not normal. Somewhat, like a little bit odd. And I like it. It has that thing of like, are you with us? Are you with them? And I like that. I find that really interesting. I'm really interested where they're going to go with it. But this sort of like eeriness, I think helps with like, what's going on? And I love it because of it. Overall, I still think the second one is the best. I would put the order I would put second Alien Resurrection, Alien, and Alien 3. Because I still am not a fan compared to the other ones. The other ones, even Alien is better than Aliens 3. But yeah, I would recommend this. I do think this is interesting. And I do sort of like this. So I hope you like and enjoy this video. And good night.